What's up, guys? This is Mitch with IGN, and I'm here with... Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm Jose Otero, and I'm with 1UP.
You're with
Thank you for having me.
That's another website.
Yeah.
So Jose and I
together.
We're here to do a Rewind Theater for the Phantom Pain trailer.
That's right.
This is it was announced during the VGAs, the VGA 10, and there's some controversy around it. Jose, why don't you tell me about what the suspicion is with Moby Dick Studio?
A studio that doesn't exist, and that this is all a ruse just for Metal Gear Solid 5, or a tease to that.
Interesting theory. With that in mind, let's go through this trailer.
Okay.
So originally we thought this was a new IP about some guy who's he's a soldier, he's been in a coma. What happened? We don't know. But it seems like his buddy here, he's going to rescue him because, you know, he's got one arm.
And it's interesting that he lost his left arm because in the story, people do lose limbs in Metal Gear.
Sure.
I want to say Ocelot lost his right. Liquid Snake loses his right arm.
Yep.
For Ocelot. I don't know if that's tied at all, but that's just a side thing with Metal Gear, obviously.
So this point here is the one that's the most interesting to me when we start thinking about this as a Metal Gear game. Both because if we look at the scars on his back, like we know Snake's been, or I guess we're keeping in mind that this is Big Boss, is the assumption.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some kind of connection between Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes, and the Phantom Pain.
Yes.
So we look at, he's got scars, he's been tortured, he's got the bandana around the back of his head.
Yep. Covering his right eye, Big Boss lost his right eye, etc.
Got the big beard. And then here, this is a definitive Solid Snake hallway crawl.
Yeah, no. And I like how you pointed out earlier that the other gentleman who was with him makes no effort to help him.
No, he's not helping him at all.
Whatsoever, yeah. Which makes me even wonder, is that guy real or not? Like, that's the thing about this trailer. Nothing seems like concrete or rooted in any sort of like, what is this? What is going on here?
And they bring that up constantly. So here, I mean, this obviously looks like a little girl.
Yeah.
The only thing that comes to mind for me is Paz from Peace Walker.
Maybe,
but there's not much there. They just say, like, hey, chill out.
And she's mentioned in the Ground Zeroes trailer.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So this is finally when Snake...
I know,
right?
Guy,
just
man.
flopping
like,
around.
Help him out, dude.
Yeah. No, let me go check ahead. And the way he's like crawling, like that's become a Metal Gear thing since 4. So I'm surprised, like, again, like we didn't pick up on this sooner.
Sure. I mean, here you look from behind. If you were to tell me that this was a Metal Gear game before I knew that this was a new IP, I'd be like, okay, totally.
He's the only guy rocking that mullet in games. I want to say.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's the sign for sure. All right.
So helicopters. Oh man, don't get seen. So that's something else that they do here is they very deliberately do not show this character's face very clearly.
Yeah.
There are instances where you almost see it, but not quite.
And it's interesting that they are now both hiding throughout the rest of the game, which is a very stealthy thing, but also that like soldiers are in the building like killing everyone.
In really kind of like unsettling ways, like dragging dudes off, shooting them in hallways, as we'll see later. Like just
he shoots him in the leg and the kneecap, and then as they hide under here, which, I mean, this soldier, hello. But anyway, not seeing that. But then, like, this gruesome, like, shot to the head. Yeah, you're right. It's really, like, kind of gross the way these guys are taking everyone out.
Poor guy.
Then the death stare.
That's sad.
I don't know about that. Yeah. Okay, so this is when sort of the surrealism starts to happen, right?
This is where we start to see some hallucination kind of stuff. Dudes flying through the air.
It's funny.
That's the closest look we get at his face right there.
Oh, wow. Holy cow. Nice. I did not pick that up.
That's I mean, we don't really, there's no definitive way to tell right now. You know, is that Big Boss? I mean, let's just operate under the assumption that sure it is.
Obviously.
Let's assume that poor Moby Dick Studio is not this studio that just wants to make their new IP and is getting just, these poor guys are just being confused with Metal Gear. Let's assume that this is a Metal Gear game. Hey, sure looks like Big Boss to me.
Yeah. No, good. Definitely good call there. Nice catch. I did not see that.
Yeah.
All right, so now he's down, he's up, and all these little, like, there was a joke on Twitter, like, well, it has to be Metal Gear. Look how many lines of dialogue are here. This scene is really, creepy, by the way.
Yeah, I agree.
If you could just rewind back.
Yeah, it's
like, these guys just getting, like, cornered in this hallway, getting shot at from both sides.
There's nowhere to go.
It makes you think that with this being a Metal Gear game, that Snake is obviously the target. This bandaged man gets shot. I thought it was the bandaged man who was with Snake, by the way.
Is that not your bro?
I don't think so, because in the next couple of
frames.
Yeah, nurse there, too. Didn't pick that. Yeah, I thought the bandage dude got shot, but then you see in the next frame he's going to get up with the gun in his hand if you freeze it there. Yeah.
So he picked that up from some soldier.
Yeah. And the gentleman down the hall, obviously wearing a sneaking suit of some kind, because in the Metal Gear universe, especially in 3, the sneaking suits are kind of, I don't know, there's just a lot of designs on it, sometimes like lines of color across them.
Sure.
In different places. You can see like that with Big Boss's, with Boss's sneaking suit, with Naked Snake's sneaking suit. Vulcan. A lot of people think it's Vulcan because of the fire. It also makes sense with Metal Gear Solid 3 too, because of the way Vulcan dies, which is like an explosion, electrocuted to death kind of thing.
I mean, he's clearly on fire there. There's something going on. Maybe it's, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's just part of the supernatural hallucination stuff that they're alluding to.
Yeah.
Just full on running here.
Yeah, and being chased.
I wonder. I haven't looked. Is there any notable imagery on these guys? Like maybe we can get a Foxhound text or something.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I
No.
kept looking for that too, trying to compare them to some of the Ground Zero soldiers, but I don't think anyone was wearing something like that. Some people think the weapons are the same. That seems to be a popular theory on the internet. Yeah,
weapons are weapons. I mean, an MP5 is an MP5.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
So this is the guy that the internet suspects is Colonel Volgin from Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yes, yeah, because of the red specifically.
Right, and the layout of the stuff on his thighs is very similar. Like that is almost undebatable.
Yeah.
It's too big of a coincidence.
And Vulcan was a very sort of powerful villain in that game who also couldn't die. I mean, he could generate electricity. Like these are kind of the wacky rules that Metal Gear seems to kind of play with. I have no idea who this is, by the way, and I froze it to try and see. Yeah, you see the eyes right there. I kept trying to freeze this to get a better look at who it was. And they have kind of a
little bit of a scruff.
Yeah,
it's a man of some kind.
Yeah, and just falling over on fire, presumably because of the other dude.
Yeah, maybe he's just
but not
dude.
maybe in that scene. So a horse showing up here, more like a unicorn, but the horse in Metal Gear is constantly refers to the boss. They always bring up the boss's horse through all the games. If you're unfamiliar with the boss, that was Snake's mentor in Metal Gear Solid 3, and that's her horse has shown up in that game in Peace Walker. It's like a constantly
it's a recurring thing
sign
for Big Boss.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. But now it's a unicorn.
One of our sharp readers, Divine Diablo, who's his first name Dan. He's one of our IGN bloggers. He wrote this exhaustive post about this trailer, and this is something he brings up as some kind of connection to the boss. So it's not a stretch. People are starting to make these connections.
Yeah, for sure. Who's writing it though? I couldn't make that out.
Yeah,
I kept trying.
It's very much just like a silhouetted figure.
And
you almost can't even tell.
On fire. Like what's up with that? Yeah, they look like wings. If you go back, yeah,
a little bit. It's just got like a couple chains there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Couldn't be. I mean, that's the thing too. With every post Metal Gear Solid 3 game, it seems like Naked Snake is still getting over killing the boss.
That's something else to point out is that this the entire time this trailer is like, what is real? What's it going to be? And it starts to say, open your eyes. And open your eyes already, as if it's trying to tell us like that you know what this is. Pay attention to it. It's very clearly a Metal Gear game at this point to me.
And this whale.
What's up, a giant whale?
You can't have Moby Dick as the developer and not have a whale, I guess, show up. Yeah.
So the other thing to note, I don't know if you saw this on the wider internet there, Jose. Do you know about this imagery here?
Yeah, and how the word. I'll let you explain it.
So you can see you can see the silhouettes of some letters above the Phantom Pain logo there, and without brightening the screen, it's kind of hard to see. But once it's brightened, once you connect the dots, the letters here very clearly spell out Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, and those words fit in. Yeah, one thing I meant to bring up too earlier with the car accident at the beginning. We're way past this. You don't have to rewind all the way back to that.
I can.
But someone, if you want to, I'll let this finish.
Okay.
But people brought up on the internet a Kojima tweet where they were doing motion capture for a car accident back in June, and he tweeted a photo of it.
Well, that was like one of the first things we saw there.
Yeah. That's way back at the beginning, so I don't think that's really worth stopping for. But I know what you're trying to freeze and show.
Yeah, I don't know what's here. Cool. I'm just kind of looking. There's not much
definitely.
here.
Yeah,
green light,
still
gas mask.
Soldiers with the gas mask. Yeah.
He's just kind of standing over our boy.
Yeah, and he finds our boy, and this is the one time they also show another angle of his face outside of the one that you caught.
Yeah. And
Snake is rather old in Ground Zero, so this does all fit within theory. And who's that? So someone's floating.
Someone speculated, someone being a lot of people on the internet, that this is Psycho Mantis. Specifically because, hey, it's a game about psychotic stuff happening, someone floating, black cloth. Very skinny. It could well be.
I would only say that Mantis would have probably. I don't know how old Mantis was in Metal Gear Solid in the original,
looked old.
But you couldn't really tell.
His face was all stretched.
Yeah, that's true. Presumably he would be a lot younger if it's him, and I do like the way, like in Metal Gear Solid 3, certain characters are set up, like Revolver Ocelot and whatnot. So it wouldn't be a stretch to say that that's him for sure. Because he's one of the few villains that have shown up that have kind of the telepathic, floating, surrealist, inducing stuff. Yeah,
I would love to see. Whatever this is, whatever the Phantom Pain is, if it's a Metal Gear game, I would love for it to be kind of a Foxhound recruiting thing. Like you are recruiting Psycho Mantis, you are recruiting Decoy Octopus, all the guys that you would later see.
So my crazy theory is that it is when Snake gets operated on, you know how they clone him? Could it be that they chopped off his arm to clone him? Was that the price he paid? Because he's, according to their storyline, a lot happens with that, and that's a major plot point for 4.
Yeah.
So...
Divine Diablo, Dan, our guy on IGN who is blogging about this, he ripped apart a bunch of stuff in this trailer, found a bunch of film references. He thinks this tail, this Moby Dick tail here on this image here, there was some speculation on the internet that it was like Kojima's hair or some crazy nonsense, which I don't understand at all.
How many drinks did it take to see that?
Right? Yeah. That was like way later in the night.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
But he points out that part of the insertion point in Ground Zeroes that we know, like wherever Snake is going in for that mission, is somewhere in Cuba, and this tail happens to be like part of that area. There's a piece of land that looks a lot like a whale tail.
Okay,
and that's the connection he makes there.
Interesting. All right, I like it.
Me too. Jose, thanks for hanging out.
Thank you for having me, Mitch.
For all things The Phantom Pain, Metal Gear, whatever you need for your wacky, psychotic video games, make sure to keep it locked to IGN and 1UP.
V has come to